All right, so in keeping with the theme of setting up a new bow, here's the one that I've got, Ventum 33 Pro. It has a sight on it, and that's actually what I want to talk about. I want to talk about sights. So it has a sight on it, and I'm actually going to keep that one on there. I have a bunch of other ones, and I'll show you here a couple of them. And so here is one that I always like running. This is a Spot Hogg Hogfather. It has a double pin, which is nice. And what's cool about it is here it'll tell you the spots, the measurements, or the distances that it's set at. So if you have to shoot at something and you're not sure, you'll have two reference points. Now, one of the things I really like about this one in particular, or this type of sight, is you got a lot of adjustments that you can make. So here you can actually adjust the bar and make it go out further. And then of course you can always adjust the height. And I'll have all of those different points marked on the piece of tape that you add. You'll shoot it and basically mark it. But so yeah, so that's kind of something I like to do. I like to run, just pull this out of a drawer that I had, and this is kind of just a basic fixed pin sight. And so these are great because you have everything all set, ready to go. Once you've shot it, you have all the distances. This one in particular, this is not one I would actually use because it doesn't have a third axis adjustment. And third axis adjustment is really important when you are, let's say you're hunting or you're shooting up and downhill a lot. Third axis are really important adjustments because, so you see here this bubble, this level, this bubble level will tell you if the sight is straight, and if it's not, if it's off. So here, if I move it, if it's off, it'll throw your shot off. And so what this does here, on this sight here, this actually has a third axis adjustment. Here's the original bracket for that sight. And so the adjustments here, these two bolts, and you would adjust it and it would compensate for, actually what it does, it compensates for when the bow is pulled back, when you draw the bow back, the amount of pressure from the draw goes to this right here, this cable slide or cable wheel. I forget what to call this, but basically all the pressure goes onto this when you pull the bow back, and it pulls the riser out like this. So you pull back, the pressure goes on here, and it pushes in here like that, and basically twists the riser out. So when you're at full draw, it's not the same when the bow is at rest. And so that's kind of important when you're shooting up and downhill. And if you're hunting, you're shooting from a tree stand. And so adjusting the third axis and, learning how to do that, it's really important if you're going to be really serious about shooting. If you're just, shooting, playing around, if you're not shooting from elevated positions, then it doesn't really matter as much. But yeah, if you're taking some extreme up and downhill shots in some tournaments, that's the scenario, then it's really important. But yeah, most of these sights that I have, they have third axis adjustments on all of them. This is a sight I really like here. This is an option archery sight. This is a 4-pin sight, and then here there's a movable sight, movable pin, which is really awesome. You can do this also if you wanted to move all the pins out of the way, and then you have just the one that you can shoot, and it has all of the distances marked out beforehand. You go and you actually shoot, and you find out what those distances are, and once you have that all set, then you're good to go. But yeah, so that's kind of what I like. Now here's something interesting here. So I have a couple other sights here. I'll show you this one here. This is a B3, and it's kind of a little bit of both. It's got the immovable head, but then it also has the pins, the multiple pins, and it's nice to have that as an option. Now, if you're shooting a tournament and you don't have to worry about having to figure out multiple distances, then, you know, something like this here, where you just have your one pin, and it's hard to see, but there it is. You just have the one reference point, and then you can adjust it up and down. This one, I can adjust up and down and do micro adjustments. You can tell by the clicking sound that the sight adjusts up and down, and it does it in really small increments. This one here, you have to be a little bit more, you have to pay attention a little bit more to where it's at, because it could move a bunch, and with just a little bit of movement. You can do some small adjustments here with this. But yeah, anyways, but yeah, so here's something kind of cool. So this is the sights that Hoyt have come out with recently, or the different companies have come out with for Hoyt, where they attach to the front. And so it's kind of cool. The only drawback to this is that there's not a lot of adjustment going out or in, which is, you know, why I like this so much here. But interestingly enough, watch this. So I'm going to line it up with where the holes are, and it's right about where I have this one set up. So that's kind of cool. But yeah, you're limited because this one I can go out pretty far. This one also. And so, but I'm going to give this a shot, see how I like it. So this is a movable pin sight. You can use this wheel to kind of move things up and down. There's actually 2 pins on it. So yeah, I'm pretty excited about that. And hopefully, yeah, I like it, and we'll keep going with that. If not, then it goes on the chopping block, which is, I'm going to sell it. That's it. So yeah, so that's it for the sights. So yeah, I mean, you got options as far as what you can do. Like I said, fixed pin sight. These are pretty basic, pretty simple, and, you know, pretty, you know, straightforward as far as what you're getting. The only thing is, you know, if it doesn't have a 3rd axis adjustment, then you might be shooting yourself in the foot a little bit. This here has a 3rd axis adjustment right here. Now the newer ones, they have a little bit different attachments, but this is how this one is. Here it kind of pivots this way like that. So, you know, if I were to loosen the bolts, I can adjust it like that. And yeah, so this one's cool because I've got both the adjustments here and the adjustment here. And then here, I think this is kind of my favorite one, because I've got a little bit of both. I've got all of the pins here, but I also have one that I can move up and down, and it, you know, down here, the farthest I can get the tape to go is to 80. But yeah, it's pretty cool. Anyways, yeah, so next video we'll focus on arrow rest, and yeah, we'll just continue building this bow. Anyways, have a good one.